Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic Volume 1, Episode 29. Today is the first day of Enigmarch, so if you would like some extra puzzles every day, be sure to check out the link in the description to join my Discord or sign up for my newsletter. But today we are going to be looking at someone else's puzzle, and it is a Bosnian Road puzzle, which is kind of a hybrid of several other genres, so this should be an interesting one to look into. And in order to understand what's going on, we're going to have to take a little extra time today when we take a look at the rules. Bosnian Road is both a loop puzzle and a shading puzzle. The rules are: shade cells in the grid that form a single closed, non-branching, non-intersecting loop that cannot touch itself, not even diagonally. Okay, that's a lot of words to say a pretty intuitive concept. We're just drawing a loop in this grid, and you can see that in the answer here. The important bit here are the cannot touch itself, not even diagonally. So that means we have this pair of cells here traveling around this way. It could not go right and down and consider that to be a different part of the loop than this. And it couldn't even come in here and touch at that corner. That would break the not even diagonally rule. So the loop has to keep a distance from itself. It's more intuitive than it sounds. A number clue is always unshaded and indicates how many shaded cells are adjacent to it, including diagonally. This rule is exactly like Minesweeper, either the pencil puzzle or the computer game, if you're familiar with that. So this 5 is saying that in this 3x3 region, there are exactly 5 shaded cells. There. That's the 5. And the cell itself can never be shaded, so that means this number could be anywhere from 0 to 8. And those are the rules of Bosnian Road, so it's time to solve a puzzle. Today's Bosnian Road puzzle was set by Tyrgannus. Alright, so what are we looking at here? We, I think, should start by looking at blocks. Well, obviously the thing that we always look at in puzzles with number clues are the really big numbers and the really small numbers. And I do see we have one clue right here that is fully defined immediately. There are only 5 candidate cells around here, so we can fill those in right away. And when we do that, we can know some things about the loop that we're forming. Since this must be part of the loop here, it needs to continue on either end, and we can't have any cells that touch the loop because the loop can't touch itself. So we can mark all of these cells as not part of the loop, and it needs to go a little further in both directions. And now we're at the point where it could continue or turn. Now let's think a bit about the one clue here. If this cell were shaded and were the 1, then it would be stranded and could not get to the rest of the grid. So this is not shaded. The same thing is true for these 2 immediately, because shading that in would make it impossible for that to reach the outside world. This clue also can't be shaded. So in many of our shading puzzles, if you shaded in a cell like this and we were told that the one next to it was unshaded, that would be okay because we could go out to the east and meet the rest of the clues. But this is a loop. So if we shade this puzzle, we would need to shade both of those, and that would break this clue. So this is not shaded. The same thing is true symmetrically over here. And now if you look at this clue, it's actually going to be true of that as well. We would need to form a corner there because 2 sides we know are not shaded, and that would break the 1. So that's not shaded. That's not shaded. So in fact, this one clue by itself is defined as only that cell can be shaded. And in order for the loop to enter and exit there, it needs to go like so, making this unshaded. And now we see that the loop will continue to the left to meet the block there. And now let's look at this 3. I'm going to say that this cell right here can't be shaded because we've got 1 accounted for. We've got 2 left. If this were in, then that would have to be part of this of the loop that goes north and south, which would be 3 by itself, including, and then adding this one would make 4, which is too many. So this is not shaded. So our 2 are either this corner and this corner, or it's these 2. So either way, that is part of the loop for sure. We've got 6 out of the 8 cells here that are shaded, and this one is not. So of the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cells, 6 of them need to be shaded, and we have a 2 clue right next to it that will only allow 2 of these to be shaded. So these 6 need to come from these 4 and 2 of these, and this 2 clue then is already taken care of by this, so these are all unshaded. That's very much Minesweeper logic going on right there. Could this be one of the 2? I'm going to say no, because then the loop would have to either come in from the north and be stuck or come in from the south and be stuck. So this is not one of those 2 shaded cells. These 2 are. And the loop must continue like so. So now on this corner, the loop has to continue up and it joins the rest. And I'm going to mark the unshaded ones that can't be filled in because they would touch the existing loop. Now we've got another 1 clue that's going to be similar to this one, but right on the edge. We could have had 2 possible corners before, but this one now we know is not part of the loop. So it has to be this one shaded to account for that 1 clue. The loop can't go up or it would be dead-ended. So this 4 is these remaining cells to account for the 4. And now, again, let's mark the ones we know to be unshaded because they would touch the loop. And continue the loop going on its merry way around there. This 3 clue is complete with those 3. So this is unshaded, so the loop goes down. Okay, how about the corner down here? Could the loop go south? If it went south, it would need to take up at least 5 cells around the 4. So it doesn't go south. So it goes east. And then one of these 2 is the 4th. Could it be this one? No, that would be a dead end. So it's this one. And the loop goes east, and these 2 are not part of the loop. This 6 clue has 8 candidates around the cell. 2 of them are known to be unshaded, so the rest must be shaded. And again, we will mark the ones that we know are no longer part of the loop. This comes north, and we've now connected our 2 little segments. And this has to come out this way. So we've got a 7 clue, we've got a 4 clue, and we've got a bunch of empty space. How are we going to deal with that? I think the 7 looks most vulnerable. We're saying that we've got all 8 of these filled in except 1 is not. Let's try a couple examples of possibilities. What if it was that one? No, that's a problem because then we have a dead end. So this is for sure shaded. Same thing will be true here because we would have a dead end coming up this way. So those 2 are guaranteed. Could we have any shape with a corner unshaded? No, because then the snake would be touching itself at a corner, the loop. So, in fact, that's a proof that all 4 of the corners are for sure shaded. So we've got a C shape in one of the 4 orientations going on. If it were a downward facing C, then this endpoint would have nowhere to go. There needs to be an empty or a free end up here connecting to this segment of the loop. And in fact, it has to be exactly 1 because we can't have another endpoint. So we couldn't have an upward facing C either, or U shape either. It's got to be to the west or to the east. So let's fill those in. So these are all known. This is either west or east. Let's think about those options. If it is open on the west side, then we just need to connect this end with this, which seems pretty easy. If it goes the other way, there's our problem. If we make a C that is open on the right side, then this has to come down and down again, and that's going to break the 4 clue. So it has to be this shape, and we can mark couple cells here as unshaded for sure. This comes north, north, east. We're now all connected. This can't be shaded because then we'd have 2 more. We only can have 1 more for this 4 clue. Same reason this can't be shaded. So now we've got these 2. So either we're doing that and this comes out, or we're doing this and then out. And I'm going to say that this option is a problem because now this end of the loop has nowhere to go. It could only come back up here and close too early. So that's not going to happen. It's going to have to come down here. And then west, these can't be shaded. So now this has to come south and there. And that is how you solve a Bosnian road. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and check out the description below for more free puzzles.